This royal office is also described by the prophet Jeremiah. Now, many of you have written saying that's a perfect example to reject Mary, because the Queen of Heaven in Jeremiah was a pagan goddess. I'm glad you asked. The royal office described by Jeremiah tells of how the Queen Mother possessed a throne and a crown, symbolic, I guess, of her position of authority in the kingdom. But a lot of people have written to us and said Jeremiah talks about the evil of the Queen of Heaven. And this means Mary. Well, first of all, are we really going to call Mary evil? Even non-Catholics? The mother of Jesus is going to be called evil? That doesn't make much sense. But I get the letters, so let's respond. Was Jeremiah, if he called the Queen of Heaven evil, it had to be Mary, meaning Mary is evil? Well, first of all, Jeremiah was written 600 BC. So he couldn't have been referring to Mary. She wasn't even born yet. And the term Queen of Heaven in this negative context was used to refer to pagan deities. Why? And why isn't it Mary if I'm now calling Mary Queen of Heaven? First, the mother of Jesus cannot be pagan. That's obvious. But second, no Catholic teaching treats Mary as a deity. In Jeremiah, he's talking about the pagan deities. We never treat Mary as a deity. Now, who was Jeremiah referring to? He was referring to every pagan pantheon that had a ruling deity called the King of Heaven. All right, here we go, everybody. For everybody who says Jeremiah condemned the Queen of Heaven, do you know who else Jeremiah condemned? The King of Heaven. But no non-Catholic will tell you that in their argument. So the first time a non-Catholic tells you the Queen of Heaven is condemned in Jeremiah, you could say, so is the King of Heaven. So he's condemning Jesus? Because nobody's going to argue Jesus isn't the King of Heaven. What he's referring to is at the pantheon, each one had their own deities, pagan, and they were called the King of Heaven. So put this together. As Jeremiah is referring to these, every pagan pantheon that had a ruling deity called the King of Heaven. Was that King of Heaven Jesus? No. And neither is the Queen of Heaven the female